Okay, just know one thing. We're going to lose all our sculpting information. And this is not about sculpting. This is about resolution. So we'll take resolution out of or sculpting out of the equation. And to do that, we go over to the modifier and we lower this down to 1. Go back into object mode, and you can see one's got a little bit beefier resolution to it. And I'm just going to hit apply. Okay. Again, if you want to see that textured, there it is. I'm going to make a duplicate of this. And now I'm going to illustrate mirrored UVs. So remember, the test is, or the rule is, I can only use this 800 by 800 square. Right now, I'm using it to my fullest advantage because the shell sits on it. I mean, I could get a little bit higher. You know, I can go over here and scale it to right about here. But other than that, I'm pretty well stuck on this 800 by 800 square. So how do we break that? Well, some Mojo, some Voodoo. And what I'm going to do is hit Tab and go into Faces, turn off Limited Selection, and I'm going to cut the character down the center. Now, it's going to be harder to cut the character because he's higher res. So Shift, Control, Alt with Faces turned on allows me to do this. I'm going to hit X, Faces. Same thing. And then I can select this shell, delete it. Go back to object mode, and then I'm going to take and add a new modifier called mirror. Oop. See, what did I do wrong? I have to center my pivot. Transform. Oh, I right-clicked here, just in case this happened to you. I right-clicked, I go Object, Transform, Origin to 3D Cursor. And then I can go Mirror. There it is. So now I've mirrored it to the other side. Well, let's look at the UVs for a second. Let's apply that mirror, hit A, and this is what I have. Well, I can go like this. Remember, I'm allowed to use only the 800 by 800 square, and I can highlight this, hit L, rotate it ever so slightly, hit G to kind of move it, hold Shift and L, scale it, G, there we go. And now I have illustrated mirrored UVs. And you can see the advantage right next to each other. And the disadvantage. Advantage, I get a higher resolution. I wasted less of the UV space. So it's a little bit tighter, compact. And what I do like about it is the fact that, you know, I can stack it right up next to the edge here on the UVs as far as the map goes, and it takes up even less space that way. Disadvantage, well, it's mirrored. So here where I have asymmetric, where I can have one instance of the item on one side but not the other, over here it's always symmetrical. So sometimes you don't want to do this because of the symmetrical look. If you're looking for just a material that wraps on the object and looks symmetrical anyway, who cares? In this case, they're side by side. Now, if you do that in a texture rendering and lighting course, please explain yourself to your instructor and why I mirrored it. You know, you would have to have some kind of causal reason. Here's what happens. This doesn't show up in everyday classes because I don't know why. Really, I just don't. I never see it illustrated on the internet. I don't see it illustrated anywhere. But if you tear apart any video games with reverse engineering, you're going to find out that the characters in the game, some of them have mirrored UVs, but still, the topic is never covered in a modeling class that I know of. And I've watched a few videos based upon like Nomen and all that other stuff. I never see it, but that's what it is. It is what it is. So there are rules to UVs. First rule, don't overlap UVs. Now, here's that rule broken and why it works. So, please move on to the next video where I can kind of figure out an assignment for you to illustrate this technique.